the summer, the days are getting longer, the sun is shining, and Everton are once again battling relegation. Get your picnic baskets together, folks. Most people look at this time of year and think it's time to go out and do things with friends and family. I'm looking at it as an excuse to sit in my room like the good little troll I am and look forward to the real reason summer is great, and that is the transfer window. We are once again approaching that time where every player under the sun whose name isn't Luke Shaw are being linked with a move away from their respective clubs. So I thought to take a look at the players who desperately need to look at right move and consider their futures, because the current situation they find themselves in just isn't ideal, whether it be down to their own ability, the trajectory of the club they're at, or for the sake of their own future. Welcome to Good Sport Reviews. My name is Lewis, and here are my picks for 10 Premier League players who need a transfer this summer. And while we think these people should move on, we don't want you to go anywhere, so please make sure to hit like and subscribe for more stupid footballing content from myself. Number 10, Thiago Alcantara. We start this list with one that seems pretty obvious on paper to everyone, but about 80% of the Liverpool fan base. Thiago Alcantara is a fantastic, technically gifted player who has a terrific passing range and is wonderful to watch. That is when the person controlling his voodoo doll is blackout drunk. You see, Thiago no longer has the legs or physical ability to play in a Jurgen Klopp system, which relies on fast movement on the ground and constant pressure from the players. And while yes, Jurgen Klopp is leaving at the end of the season, please stop reminding me, I will drink myself to death. The new manager coming in, whoever that is most likely going to implement a similar style of system regarding pressure from the players, which Thiago cannot provide. Where should he go? Saudi Arabia. Not going to promote the league by any stretch of the imagination, but Thiago can go to a league where he's able to operate at his own pace, where luxury players thrive, show off his passing range, and earn a fat payday, which Barcelona won't be able to afford considering their financial problems. So this just seems like a perfect fit for the man who is never fit. Number 9, Julian Alvarez. Might seem a bit daft to suggest a man who's just come off the back of a treble for his club should leave. Just saying though, they're not winning another this season. Thank you very much, Real Madrid. But Julian Alvarez is wasted at Manchester City. He does play, don't get me wrong, he's played 62 times for Man City in the league. However, he's been subbed on 20 times and off 20 times. He's starting to suffer from the same fate that Gabriel Jesus did during his time at the club. A versatile attacker who can play through the middle or out wide, coming inverted, who is playing second fiddle to Pep's preferred striker. With Erling Haaland is injured and he's good enough to play for pretty much any team he wants. Where should he go? Real Madrid. A bit far-fetched, I know, but hear me out. The list's just for fun, folks. Mbappe is going there for air quotes free. There are multiple reports linking Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr. with moves away from the club, and Ancelotti isn't getting any younger. When he leaves in 2026, there will be a new manager coming in with fresh ideas, like maybe a Xabi Alonso who could bring the best out of a player like Alvarez. Alongside Mbappe and which other players go there and how he has at disposal at the time, it's the one club who can rival Man City for stature and money, and it would be a natural progression for a player who could consider his options while he still has them. Number 8, Michail Antonio, and this one is more for the benefit of West Ham more than the player. At one point in time, Antonio was considered a good striker who was able to use his pace to great effect, getting in behind opposition defences because of West Ham's style of lump it up the pitch football. Now, he just feels like he's stopping the club from bringing in a more effective striker. Yes, they tried Scamacca and it didn't work, but Antonio isn't offering a great deal on the pitch, and it just feels like he's there because once in a blue moon, he can pop up with a goal. It's not all bad, but the club can do better than a striker who scored 9 goals in the past 2 seasons. Danny Ings, Maxwell Cornet, step your games up. Where should he go? The Championship. It's hard to pick a specific team because there's so many options. Despite my opinions on his ability, Antonio is great at one thing, and that is hold-up play. Just look at what he's able to do for Jarrod Bowen. Imagine him moving to one of the relegated sides, maybe holding up the ball for a Tahith Chong at Luton or a Luca Koleosho at Burnley. Genuinely, he'd be a great player to have for them and could score more frequently in a division that feels more to his level. Number 7, Ryan Ait-Nouri, a talented left wing-back who is the best of both worlds. Ryan Ait-Nouri possesses terrific defensive ability, averaging 2.48 tackles per 90 minutes, but he's also a superb attacking presence on the pitch, often being Wolves' main source of attacking threat, operating as their key provider of the ball into the box from the left side. He averages 2.71 successful take-ons and the same number for progressive carries per 90. Not only that, but he's also 22 years old. He has so much time on his side to become every bit the player he looks set to be at Wolves. There's clearly a ceiling though for both the club and the manager, and Ait-Nouri will outgrow the club sooner or later. Where should he go? Liverpool. This Liverpool side is coming into a new era following the departure of Jurgen Klopp, and whoever the new manager is going to want fresh players to execute his new tactical setup. Andrew Robertson isn't getting any younger and doesn't have the same amount of attacking output that he once had. Tsimikas is fine, don't get me wrong, but he's a backup. Let's face it, he should be looked at as a player to cash in on while he's still relatively young. Maybe it's time for a new left back to step up and have Robertson start to phase towards the backup role. As much as I love him, it's going to happen sooner or later. Ait-Nouri would be a fantastic addition to a club like Liverpool, and they need to be proactive, not reactive. Number 6, Eberechi Eze. I think Eze is so talented, and it's a shame to see his ability almost wasted at Crystal Palace. No offence to the Eagles, but at the time of writing and recording this, they're on their second manager of the season, and results are coming few and far between. We don't talk about the Liverpool result. It didn't happen. We saw with Wilfried Zaha what happens when a player stays at that club for too long. Eze does not need that happening to him. He's now 25 years old and needs to start considering his options before he reaches his peak. He needs a manager who's going to get the best out of his attacking ability. He currently performs 2.62 successful take-ons per 90, as well as 1.35 tackles per 90 also. He's all over the pitch, and under better management, he would excel and become an even better player than we've already seen. Where should he go? Tottenham. People were saying Man City, but we've seen with Jeremy Doku, Jack Grealish, what happens when creative flair players join a Pep system. They're creatively stunted at points. This attacking Ange Postecoglou Spurs, with a system that relies on attack-minded players and forward-thinking creativity and pressing, would benefit Eze to no end. He'll be able to express himself while also providing for the better options in front of him than he currently has at Palace. Number 4, Eddie Nketiah. Might be a bit of a cheat and an obvious answer, but it's one that needs saying. Eddie Nketiah is by no means an amazing player, but he has a skill set that could be of value to other clubs dotted around the English system. He has a finish in him, as shown in the hat-trick against Sheffield United earlier in the season, and he is a player with pace and a forward-thinking mentality. He's not great, but still has something to offer. Where should he go? Everton. Might be a bit of a wild shout. Once again, fun list, don't at me. But the next entry will show why him going to Everton would be a good idea. You see, Everton are in desperate need of a striker with pace, and the plan to get in behind has not been seen since the sale of Richarlison. Eddie Nketiah's level is around lower to mid-table, and while a side like Crystal Palace or Fulham might benefit from him, Everton can get him for a cutthroat price, which would help given the club's financial status. And Eddie Nketiah's contract situation and a possible desire to get first-team football would contribute to that. Not only that, but given the injuries to another player, he would get first-team football. Those injuries have been happening too. Number 4, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. This move is more for the benefit of Everton than anyone. Calvert-Lewin was at one point being discussed as England's starting striker when he was tearing teams apart during the Carlo Ancelotti era at Everton. However, since then, a vast amount of injuries and poor form have seen his stock plummet, and his current market value is set at around £18 million. He still has something to offer, especially in the air, boasting a 6'2" frame, but it's time for Everton to stop thinking he's going to get back to his best. The lad's 27 now and hasn't shown quality on the pitch in a while. Not to mention, but the club are in a financial struggle, and clearly the longer they hold on to Calvert-Lewin, the more his stock plummets. Where should he go? Sheffield United. It's a story more than anything, but Calvert-Lewin at Sheffield makes sense. His former club, who are, let's face it, about as destined to the drop as Titanic was after hitting the iceberg, and he'd be a physical presence in a side who, under Chris Wilder, utilised set pieces more than most to get results. He would be cheap and would be fantastic in the Championship, where he's able to show off his true level of ability. I just want to take a break from the video for a moment to talk about the amazing headphones that I'm wearing from stealthgaming.com. I'm using the mint coloured Panther headphones. They are absolutely perfect for all my streams over on the LFC Transfer Room. They've got amazing sound quality with two 40mm sound drivers in the headset, amazing microphone quality, and they're perfect for gamers and streamers alike. They're comfortable and absolutely amazing to have in all my videos. So go check out the website. The link is in the description down below, stealthgaming.com. Go see all the amazing products that they have over there for very reasonable prices. You won't be disappointed. So yeah, go check the link in the description. Number 3, Keem Keller. It's heartbreaking to say, but Rufus Hound, aka Keem Keller, is too good to stay at Liverpool as a backup keeper. This isn't exactly new news, but it bears repeating. Keller has shown during the absence of Alisson that he is a level beyond any other second choice keeper in the Premier League, and his ability to play the ball at his feet while also being a tremendous shot stopper, as shown time and time again this season, means that any side would benefit from getting him massively. He is simply too good to be behind Alisson, who's not going to be dropped anytime soon, and for good reason. While he would excel in the Premier League at maybe a Newcastle or a Brentford, I have a different idea which will probably have me laughed at and my credibility shot more than it already is. Where should he go? Celtic. Kelleher is a capable goalkeeper. However, he is approaching 26. Not old for a keeper. I mean, look at Brad Friedel, Jesus Christ. But he still has so much expectation at a club like Newcastle or Brentford, where they tend not to control possession as much, playing to his strengths. At Celtic, he could become a legend of the club with Joe Hart retiring and Brendan Rodgers playing a very possession-based style of football. Kelleher could add trophy upon trophy to his cabinet, be part of a legendary club for years to come, and play Champions League football. Might be a bit of a cop-out, but it just seems a fit for a keeper who's coming to the peak of his powers and would benefit so much from a Brendan Rodgers system as well as regular first-team football for years to come. Number 2, Alexander Isak. He's too good for Newcastle. I'm sorry, but he just is. Alexander Isak, at the time of this recording, has 21 goals this season. The first player since Alan Shearer to do so. He's had injury problems, of course, but despite this, the fact that Newcastle have been up and down more than a kid on a trampoline, he's been consistent and is able to rival the likes of Haaland and Ivan Toney for being the league's best strikers. Newcastle might not have European football next season, and it begs the question, just how long can they keep Isak happy at the club? There are reports of them losing Bruno Guimaraes this summer, as well as Callum Wilson possibly going, so what hope do they have of keeping someone who should be playing at the highest level of English football? Where should he go? Tottenham Hotspur. Isak has scored 17 league goals despite the fall form of Newcastle this season and the injuries mentioned. Now, imagine what he could score on a Tottenham side with players like Son, Kulusevski, James Maddison, Timo Werner, Pedro Porro, causing all sorts of attacking threats from every angle of the pitch. The club aren't the best defensively, but what they provide in attacking output is second to none. They've lost Kane, and as much as that hasn't affected them too much, they still need that striking focal point, and for everything Richarlison's improved on this season, he still isn't the quality needed. Isak would be expensive, no doubt about it, between 80 to 100 million. No doubt about it, he would be, but he still has so much quality and will have chances thrown at him left, right and centre. He would be exactly what Tottenham need and would play regular European football under one of the league's best attacking managers. And number 1, Marcus Rashford. Now is the time for Rashford to make a move away from his boyhood club and start getting his career back on track. Seriously, the Rashford of last season and this season are like night and day. It's unbelievable how far he has dropped, and it's gotten to the point where pundits and even fans are starting to be done with the Englishman, clubbing after a loss to Manchester City, a lack of leadership, and a true what appears to be apathy for Manchester United following all the turmoil over the past decade. It's time for the once future club legend to become a part of their past. Where he will go and where he should go are up in the air. If it's where he will go, then probably PSG or possibly somewhere in Italy. Where should he go? Newcastle United. Now, hear me out. Rashford, despite all his faults, is still a fast, skillful finisher, and he's shown that over the years time and time again. Any player in the Manchester United system struggles because of the environment, because of the toxic nature of the club, the dressing room, the players, the fans, the management, the ownership. Rashford has shown when he's away from the club what kind of person he is, and it's not the perceived man who doesn't give a Markovic about playing for the club. Now imagine him in a Newcastle side under Eddie Howe's man management skills, a side quick in the transition with pace being a major strength for the attackers like Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon, and the previously mentioned Alexander Isak. Rashford has his strengths played to and would be more suited to a Newcastle, more suited to a club with a bright future under a good manager in an environment that isn't completely toxic, and become a main man in a side that focuses on attacking football, something he would benefit from majorly. And that's our list. If you are new around here, please make sure to hit like and subscribe and give your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll reply to every single one that comes through, unless it's mean. And please, once again, make sure to hit subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.